Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever wondered why some people seem to get instant responses while others wait endlessly? In our digital world, communication has become the foundation of relationships, yet many struggle with delayed replies and unanswered messages. Today, I want to share the secrets behind making sure he or anyone calls and texts you instantly. Confidence is one of the most powerful forces in human interaction. It is the invisible quality that makes people pay attention, respect you, and feel drawn to you without fully understanding why. When you exude confidence, you naturally become more attractive, not just in a romantic sense, but in all aspects of life. People instinctively want to be around those who are self-assured because confidence signals strength, stability, and a sense of purpose. Think about it. When someone speaks with certainty, maintains strong eye contact, and carries themselves with poise, we automatically take them more seriously. On the other hand, when someone hesitates, second-guesses themselves, or appears unsure, it creates doubt in our minds about their value. The same principle applies to communication, whether through texts, calls, or in-person conversations. If you send a message with nervous energy, over-apologizing, or trying too hard to get a response, the other person can sense it, often subconsciously. But when you communicate with certainty and self-respect, you set a completely different tone. A confident person does not beg for attention because they know they are worthy of it. They do not wait by the phone anxiously, wondering if someone will reply. Instead, they live their lives fully engaged in their own passions and interests. This natural detachment from the need for validation makes them even more desirable. People are drawn to those who have a sense of purpose beyond just waiting for a message. Moreover, confidence is not about arrogance or pretending to be something you're not. It comes from genuinely believing in yourself and knowing that you bring value to the table. When you cultivate self-love, set high standards, and carry yourself with assurance, you create an energy that others can't ignore. If someone doesn't respond to you, a confident person doesn't take it as a rejection. They see it as a sign that the other person isn't worth their time. And that mindset is what makes them even more appealing. Confidence also plays a crucial role in how you frame your messages. Instead of saying, "Hey, I hope you're not too busy to talk," a confident person might say, "Hey, I just thought of something funny. Let me know when you're free to hear it." The difference is subtle, but the impact is significant. The second message conveys self-assurance, intrigue, and a sense of independence, which makes the recipient want to engage. This principle extends beyond texting. When you walk into a room with confidence, people notice. When you speak on the phone with self-assurance, your voice carries a different energy. When you hold your head high and maintain an air of certainty, people are naturally more inclined to give you their attention. It's not about forcing anyone to respond, it's about making them want to. And the best part? Confidence is something that can be cultivated. It starts with self-awareness, self-care, and a commitment to personal growth. The more you invest in yourself, the more naturally confident you become. And when that confidence shines through, getting an instant call or text back won't even be a question. It will be a natural reaction. At the heart of human communication lies emotion. People don't just respond to words, they respond to how those words make them feel. If you want someone to call or text you instantly, you must go beyond basic surface-level conversation and tap into their emotions. When a message evokes excitement, curiosity, nostalgia, or even a sense of urgency, it becomes irresistible to ignore. Think about the last time you received a message that made you feel something, a funny joke that made you laugh out loud, a memory that brought a wave of nostalgia, or a thought-provoking question that made you pause. These messages don't just blend into the noise of everyday life, they stand out. They demand attention. This is the secret to creating emotional connections, engaging the other person in a way that sparks a reaction beyond just polite or robotic responses. One of the most effective ways to create an emotional connection is through storytelling. Instead of sending a simple "hey" or "what's up," which often leads to dry, uninspired conversations, share a small, intriguing detail about your day. Imagine texting, "You won't believe what just happened. I was walking down the street and a little kid pointed at me and said I looked like a superhero. I think it's the jacket. This message is far more engaging than a generic greeting because it evokes curiosity, humor, and a sense of playfulness. The other person will feel compelled to respond because they want to be part of that moment. Another powerful way to build emotional connections is through personalized messages. People are naturally drawn to those who make them feel special. If you remember details about someone's interests, experiences, or even their struggles and incorporate that into your messages, you show them that they matter to you. For example, if he told you last week that he had a big meeting at work, sending a text like, "How did your presentation go today? I know you were gearing up for it," makes him feel seen and appreciated. Emotions are also deeply connected to nostalgia. Bringing up shared memories or referencing moments that remind the person of something positive can instantly trigger a response. If you and the person you're texting once had a great time at a particular restaurant, a simple message like "drove past restaurant name today and remembered that hilarious moment when you tried to impress the waiter with your fluent Italian" can instantly bring a smile to their face and make them feel that same warmth again. Additionally, humor is one of the most underrated yet powerful ways to create emotional bonds. If you can make someone laugh, you automatically increase their likelihood of responding quickly. Laughter triggers a release of feel-good hormones, and people want to engage with those who make them feel happy. Sending a meme that's perfectly tailored to their sense of humor or playfully teasing them in a way that shows you understand their personality can work wonders in making them eager to text back. Another key aspect of emotional connection is vulnerability. People bond deeply when they feel they can be their true selves around someone. If you create a space where the person feels comfortable sharing their thoughts, dreams, and insecurities without judgment, they will naturally be drawn to you. A simple, heartfelt message like, "I just watched this movie that reminded me of what you said about following your dreams and made me think about how brave you are," can make someone feel emotionally connected to you in a way that a standard message never could. Finally, the way you frame your text also plays a role in eliciting emotional responses. Open-ended questions that encourage storytelling or deeper conversations tend to create stronger connections than simple yes or no questions. Instead of asking, "Did you have a good day?" which might get a short, one-word answer, try something like, "What was the best part of your day today?" This small shift in phrasing invites the other person to reflect and share more, making the conversation more engaging and meaningful. When you master the art of emotional connection, texting stops being just a routine activity and becomes an experience, one that people look forward to and actively seek out. Whether through humor, nostalgia, curiosity, or vulnerability, the key is to make the person feel something when they hear from you. Because when you make them feel good, they won't just call or text back, they'll want to. One of the biggest mistakes people make in communication, especially in romantic or personal relationships, is being too available. While it may seem like constantly texting, calling, and showing immediate interest would strengthen a connection, the opposite is often true. Human psychology is wired in a way that makes us value things that feel rare, exclusive, or slightly out of reach. This is why scarcity breeds desire. Think about it, people chase what they feel they might lose. If something or someone is always within arm's reach, it's easy to take them for granted. But when there's a sense of mystery, unpredictability, or limited access, interest and curiosity naturally increase. The same principle applies to communication. If you're always the first to text, always available for calls, and always responding instantly, the other person may subconsciously start to undervalue your presence. Instead, creating a sense of scarcity without playing mind games can make the other person crave your attention. This doesn't mean ignoring messages or being intentionally distant. Rather, it's about striking a balance between interest and independence. When you show that you have a life outside of your conversations with them, you become more intriguing. People are drawn to those who are busy, engaged in their passions, and not always waiting around for a response. One way to implement this naturally is by being mindful of how often and how quickly you respond. If you always reply instantly, the person may assume you don't have much going on, or worse, that you're too eager. Instead, take your time with responses. Not every message needs to be answered immediately. If you're genuinely busy, let that be reflected in your texting habits. When someone notices that you're not always available, they start wondering what you're up to, and this intrigue can make them more eager to reach out. Another important aspect of scarcity is unpredictability. If your communication follows a predictable pattern, such as always texting first in the morning or always being the one to initiate conversations, it becomes routine, and routine can lead to boredom. Instead, mix things up. Sometimes be the one to start a conversation, and other times, let them reach out first. Sometimes engage deeply, and other times be brief and let them chase the conversation. The more unpredictable you are in a natural way, the more exciting the interaction feels. Social proof is another element of scarcity. When people see that others value your time, they value it more too. If you're constantly free and available, they might assume that no one else is vying for your attention. But if they see you engaging with others, pursuing hobbies, or being involved in things that make you unavailable at times, they'll feel a subtle pressure to compete for your time. This is why people who are confident, social, and engaged in their own lives often have others gravitate toward them. Scarcity also works by setting boundaries. When you communicate that your time and attention are valuable, others start to see it that way too. This means not always being the one to accommodate their schedule, not always saying yes to every last-minute plan, and not always being the person to fix communication gaps. When you show that you respect your own time, they will naturally respect it as well, and more importantly, they will start to work harder to earn your attention. Another way to create the effect of scarcity is by leaving conversations on a high note. Instead of texting endlessly until the conversation dies out, be the one to end it while the energy is still strong. Saying something like, "This has been fun, but I need to run. Talk later," leaves the other person wanting more rather than feeling like the conversation dragged on too long. This technique, often used in marketing and entertainment, works because people always want what feels unfinished or incomplete. It's important to note that scarcity isn't about manipulation, it's about self-respect. It's about recognizing that your time, energy, and attention are valuable and shouldn't be given away too freely. When you create a sense of exclusivity around your presence, people appreciate and seek it more. Instead of being someone they text out of convenience, you become someone they actively want to hear from. In a world where people receive hundreds of messages daily, what makes yours stand out? Why would someone feel compelled to respond to your texts instantly while leaving others unread? The answer lies in one fundamental principle: value. People are drawn to conversations that add something meaningful to their lives, whether it's entertainment, knowledge, encouragement, or emotional connection. If your messages consistently offer value, the other person won't just want to reply, they'll look forward to hearing from you. Why value matters in conversations: every time we engage in a conversation, we subconsciously evaluate whether it's worth our time. This doesn't mean people are cold or selfish, it's just human nature. Time is limited, attention spans are short, and we naturally prioritize interactions that make us feel good, inspire us, or challenge us in an exciting way. If your texts are bland, repetitive, or lack depth, the other person may not feel the urgency to respond. But if your conversations add something meaningful, whether it's humor, insight, or a sense of connection, they become irresistible. Think about your own experience. When was the last time you ignored a text from someone? Chances are it was because the message felt generic, uninteresting, or like an obligation rather than something enjoyable. On the other hand, when was the last time you immediately responded to someone? Most likely it was because their message intrigued you, made you laugh, or made you feel special. The same logic applies to how others respond to your texts. Ways to add value in conversations. 1. Humor and playfulness. Laughter is one of the most powerful forms of connection. When you make someone laugh, you create a positive emotional association with your presence. This is why funny, witty, or playful texts often get instant replies. Instead of sending a dry, "Hey, what's up?" try something more engaging like, "Okay, so I just saw someone try to parallel park for a full 5 minutes, and I'm 90% sure they just gave up and walked away. How's your day going? I have a very important question. If we were stuck on a deserted island, What role do you think you'd play? Survival expert, comic relief, or the one who mysteriously disappears first? These kinds of texts inject humor and curiosity into the conversation, make it much harder to ignore. 2. Sharing something interesting or thought-provoking. People are naturally drawn to those who introduce them to new ideas, facts, or perspectives. If you share something genuinely interesting, the other person will feel inclined to engage. This could be a fascinating fact. Did you know there's a town in Norway where the sun doesn't set for 69 days straight? Imagine the sleep schedule chaos. A compelling question. If you could relive 1 year of your life exactly as it happened, which one would you choose? A thought-provoking quote, I just read this. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. It made me wonder, who do you think has shaped you the most? When you introduce fresh, engaging topics, people don't just see you as someone who texts, they see you as someone who adds value to their world. 3. Personalization and genuine interest. Generic messages don't create lasting connections, but personalized ones do. When you remember details about someone's life, what they like, what they're working on, or what makes them excited, you show them that they matter. Instead of asking a broad, how's your day? Try, how did your big project turn out? I remember you saying you were nervous about it. I heard a song today that reminded me of you. What's that one song you always play when you're in a good mood? People love feeling seen. And when they know you genuinely care, they will prioritize responding to you. 4. Encouragement and positivity. The world is full of stress, negativity, and overwhelming responsibilities. If your texts become a source of positivity, people will seek out your presence. Offering words of encouragement, celebrating small wins, or simply reminding someone of their strengths can make your messages stand out. Try, I just wanted to remind you that you're absolutely killing it. Don't forget how far you've come. You know what I admire about you? You always find a way to stay positive no matter what. That's rare. When your conversations uplift people rather than drain them, they will want to talk to you. 5. Curiosity and open-ended questions. Conversations die quickly when the responses are short and predictable. Instead of asking questions that can be answered with yes or no, spark curiosity by leaving room for storytelling. Instead of did you have a good day, ask what was the most interesting thing that happened to you today. If you could have dinner with any historical figure, who would it be and why? These types of questions open the door for deeper conversations and make texting more enjoyable. The effect of offering value. When you consistently offer value in conversations, whether through humor, thought-provoking discussions, encouragement, or curiosity, you become someone people want to engage with. They won't see your messages as just another notification, but as something worth their time. The key is to make texting with you feel like a highlight of their day rather than just another routine exchange. Because when someone enjoys talking to you, they won't just respond instantly. They'll look forward to the next message. One of the most powerful ways to get someone to call or text you instantly is by creating a sense of anticipation and intrigue. Humans are naturally drawn to mystery, curiosity, and the feeling that something exciting is about to happen. When you master the art of making someone eager to hear from you, they won't just respond quickly. They'll actively look forward to your messages and interactions. Why anticipation works. Think about the last time you watched a movie or a TV show that ended on a cliffhanger. That feeling of needing to know what happens next is what keeps people coming back for more. The same principle applies to conversations. If you give away everything too soon, there's no reason for the other person to stay engaged. But if you drop hints, create suspense, or leave them wanting more, they'll be compelled to reach out to you. This technique isn't about manipulation, it's about making conversations exciting and dynamic. It's about moving beyond predictable, routine texting and making every interaction feel fresh, engaging, and full of possibility. Ways to build anticipation and intrigue. 1. Tease instead of tell. Instead of giving away everything at once, spark curiosity by leaving things unfinished. Tease an interesting story, but don't reveal all the details right away. For example, you won't believe what just happened to me today, but I'll tell you in a bit. I just remembered something hilarious about you. I'll tell you later. I have an idea that you're going to love, but I need to check something first before I tell you. When you phrase your messages this way, you create an open loop, a psychological trick that makes people crave closure. Their mind automatically starts wondering what you're talking about, and they'll feel a strong urge to respond just to find out the rest. 2. Make your text feel like a gift. People love surprises, especially when they feel personal. Instead of sending a generic message, create the feeling that your text is something special they should look forward to. Try something like, I found something today that reminded me of you. I'll send it in a bit. I have the perfect recommendation for you. Remind me to tell you later. You're going to laugh so hard when you hear this. These messages create excitement because they make the person feel like they're about to receive something unique and fun. They'll want to respond quickly just to see what it is. 3. Play with time and urgency. Another way to build anticipation is by creating a sense of urgency. This makes the conversation feel more engaging and spontaneous. You can do this by adding subtle time constraints, like I have a crazy idea for us, but you only have 5 minutes to guess what it is. I need your opinion on something ASAP. It's important. I just saw something that reminded me of you, and I have to tell you before I forget. When something feels time sensitive, people are more likely to immediately respond because they don't want to miss out. 4. Use playful uncertainty. Mystery makes people intrigued. When you introduce a little bit of uncertainty in your messages, you make the other person curious about where the conversation is going. Some examples: I just realized something interesting about you, but I'm not sure if I should tell you. I have a feeling you're going to love this, or maybe you'll hate it. Guess which one? I just read something that totally reminds me of you, but I don't know if you'll agree. By keeping things unpredictable, you engage the other person's imagination and make them want to keep talking to you. 5. Leave conversations on a cliffhanger. One of the best ways to build anticipation is by ending conversations in a way that leaves the other person wanting more. Instead of dragging conversations on until they naturally fade out, try wrapping things up at the peak of interest. For example, okay, I have to run, but remind me to tell you what happened next time. There's something I've been meaning to ask you, but I'll save it for later. I have the perfect plan for us, but let's talk about it tomorrow. By doing this, you create unfinished business in their mind. The next time they see your name pop up on their phone, they'll want to respond immediately because they've been waiting to hear the rest. The effect of intrigue in conversations: when you add anticipation and intrigue to your interactions, conversations become more than just routine exchanges, they become experiences. You make the other person feel excited, curious, and engaged, which naturally makes them more eager to hear from you. Instead of just hoping for a response, you create a dynamic where they can't wait to text or call you back. If you want someone to call or text you instantly, creating an emotional connection is one of the most powerful ways to make it happen. People respond quickly to those who make them feel something, whether it's excitement, comfort, nostalgia, joy, or even curiosity. Emotional bonds drive human behavior, and when someone feels connected to you on a deeper level, they will naturally prioritize communication with you. Think about the people in your life whom you always text back immediately. Chances are, these are people you feel emotionally invested in: close friends, family members, or someone you deeply care about. When there's a strong emotional connection, texting or calling isn't just a chore or a routine, it becomes something people want to do. So, if you want someone to respond to you right away, you need to create that kind of bond. Why emotional connection matters: people don't just remember words, they remember feelings. The way you make someone feel in a conversation is far more important than what you actually say. If every time you text or talk, the other person associates your presence with good emotions, they'll be excited to respond. But if the conversation feels dry, transactional, or meaningless, they won't feel the same urgency. An emotional connection makes texting feel effortless. It transforms a simple notification on their phone into something they look forward to rather than something they put off. Ways to build an emotional connection: 1. Show genuine interest in their life. 1 of the simplest yet most overlooked ways to create emotional connection is by genuinely caring about the other person's life. Many conversations feel shallow because they lack real engagement. Instead of just asking basic questions like, how was your day? Go deeper. Try, what was the best part of your day today? You mentioned you had a big meeting. How did it go? I bet you crushed it. What's something you're really excited about right now? When you show real curiosity and investment in someone's world, they feel seen and valued. And when someone feels valued, they naturally want to keep the connection alive. 2. Use emotional storytelling. People connect through stories. If you want to make your messages more engaging, don't just state facts, share personal experiences that evoke emotion. For example, instead of saying, I had a great weekend, say, this weekend was amazing. I went on a hike, got caught in the rain, and ended up finding this tiny cafe with the best hot chocolate ever. It reminded me of something out of a movie. Have you ever had a moment like that? When you add emotion and visual details to your messages, you invite the other person into your world. It makes the conversation feel more immersive and meaningful, which strengthens the bond between you. 3. Find shared experiences and common ground. One of the quickest ways to build emotional connection is by finding shared interests, experiences, or inside jokes. When people feel that you understand them or share something special with them, it deepens the connection. If you both love a certain TV show, reference it in your texts. This situation totally reminds me of that scene in show, you know the one I'm talking about. You have a funny memory together, bring it up. I randomly thought about that time we got lost on the way to that party. Still the funniest night ever. If you both love a certain type of music, send a song recommendation. This song came on today, and I instantly thought of you. Creating small, personal connections makes your conversations feel unique. It turns texting into something that only you two share, making the other person more eager to engage. 4. Make them feel good about themselves. Everyone loves feeling appreciated. If you want to create an emotional connection, find ways to other person. Compliments work best when they are specific and personal. Instead of just saying you're awesome, try something more detailed. I love how you always find a way to make people laugh, even in stressful situations. It's such a rare quality. You have this way of making everyone feel comfortable around you. I noticed it the first time we met. When people feel good about themselves when talking to you, they will naturally want to keep the conversation going. 5. Create emotional moments through music, movies, and memories. Emotions are strongly tied to sensory experiences like music, movies, and nostalgic memories. If you can tap into these, you can create a deeper emotional connection through conversation. Share a song that reminds you of them. I just heard this song, and it totally made me think of you. Talk about a meaningful memory. Do you remember that time we stayed up talking for hours? That was one of my favorite conversations. Suggest watching a movie together. Even virtually, I just saw a movie that I know you'd love. Let's watch it together sometime. When you tie emotions to specific experiences, it strengthens the connection and makes texting feel more personal. 6. Be vulnerable and open up. Emotional connection goes both ways. If you want someone to feel comfortable opening up to you, you have to do the same. Vulnerability creates trust and closeness. Instead of just keeping things surface level, don't be afraid to share real thoughts and feelings. For example, instead of saying, yeah, today was okay, try today was kind of tough, to be honest. I felt a little overwhelmed, but I'm pushing through. Ever have one of those days? Opening up invites the other person to do the same. When people share personal thoughts, they form deeper bonds, which leads to stronger communication. The power of emotional connection in conversations. When you create an emotional connection, you move beyond just texting. You make every interaction feel meaningful. The person will want to talk to you not out of obligation, but because they feel drawn to you. Once someone feels truly connected to you, they won't just respond instantly. They'll look forward to every message and every conversation. If you want someone to call or text you instantly, one of the most effective psychological triggers you can use is scarcity and exclusivity. People naturally desire what feels limited, rare, or special. If they believe that access to you is always available and guaranteed, they may take their time to respond. But if they feel like they might miss out on something, whether it's your time, attention, or an exciting opportunity, they will feel a stronger urge to engage with you immediately. Think about the things people value the most: VIP experiences, limited time offers, and exclusive invitations. Why do these things feel more special? Because not everyone has access to them. This same principle applies to human relationships. When someone feels like they are part of something exclusive, or that your time and attention are not just handed out freely, they will place a higher value on your communication. Why scarcity and exclusivity work in communication? The concept of scarcity is deeply rooted in human psychology. When something is rare, we instinctively perceive it as more valuable. This is why people rush to buy limited edition sneakers, concert tickets, or collector's items. They don't want to miss their chance. Similarly, exclusivity creates a sense of privilege. When someone feels like they are getting access to something not everyone can have, they feel special. This can apply to your time, your stories, or even just the way you communicate with them. When you create this feeling in conversations, people will not only reply faster, but will also put in more effort to keep the conversation going. Ways to use scarcity and exclusivity in conversations. 1. Don't always be available. If someone knows you will always reply instantly, they won't feel urgency to respond to you quickly. But if they sense that your time is valuable and limited, they will prioritize talking to you. Instead of always being the first to text or instantly replying to every message, try delaying your responses strategically. If you always reply within seconds, they might assume you're just sitting around waiting for their text. Instead, mix up your response times to keep them guessing, being the one to end conversations first. Instead of waiting for them to stop replying, say something like, "All right, I have to run, but let's talk later. I've got something I need to finish up, but I'll catch up with you soon." By doing this, you leave them wanting more. This subtle shift makes them realize that your time isn't unlimited, so when they do have your attention, they'll appreciate it more. 2. Make them feel like they're in an exclusive circle. People love feeling like they have access to something not everyone gets. You can create this feeling in conversations by sharing things that feel personal or insider only. For example, share inside jokes. Having jokes that only the two of you understand creates a sense of connection that others don't have. Use just for you messaging. Instead of saying something generic, make it feel like they're the only one you're sharing it with. "I don't usually talk about this, but I feel like you'd understand. I was going to keep this to myself, but I feel like you'd appreciate it." This makes them feel chosen and valued, which makes them more likely to respond instantly. 3. Talk about limited time opportunities. If you want someone to respond quickly, create a sense of urgency. If they feel like they only have a small window to engage with you, they won't put off replying. You can do this by saying things like, "Hey, I have something exciting to tell you, but I only have a few minutes. Call me now. I just found out about something really cool, but you have to decide fast if you want in. I'm about to tell you something crazy, but after this, I might pretend it never happened." By making it feel like they need to act now or they'll miss out, you increase their sense of urgency. 4. Show that you have a busy, exciting life. If someone perceives you as someone with a full, exciting life, they'll naturally want to be a part of it. Instead of constantly being available, make it clear that your time is valuable. Instead of texting all day, share glimpses of what you're up to. Just got back from the best hike, wish you could see the view. About to try this new restaurant I've been dying to go to. I'll let you know if it's good. And mention fun things happening in your life. This week has been crazy, but in the best way. I can't wait to tell you about it. When someone sees that you're constantly doing interesting things, they will feel more motivated to engage with you quickly because they don't want to miss out on being part of your world. 5. Occasionally pull away to increase desire. This is a classic principle in relationships. When something feels too easy to get, it loses value. If you're always the one initiating conversations or responding immediately, the other person may start taking your attention for granted. Instead, create moments where you pull away slightly and let them come to you. If they text late at night, don't always reply right away. Wait until the next day and say, fell asleep early last night. What's up? This subtly signals that you have your own life and aren't always available on their schedule. If you've been texting a lot, take a short break before reaching out again. This creates a slight gap that makes them miss talking to you. When someone feels like they might lose access to you, they will be much quicker to respond when they do have the chance. 6. Use teasing and playfulness to keep them hooked. Scarcity doesn't always have to be about time. It can also be about information. If you make conversations playful and unpredictable, they will want to keep engaging to see where things go. Try leaving messages open-ended. I just realized something about you, but I'm not sure if I should tell you. I know something you don't know. Want to guess? Being playful about your availability. I might be free later, but you'll have to convince me. I was going to tell you something cool, but now I'm not so sure. Maybe later. This adds mystery and fun to the conversation, making them more eager to text back. The effect of scarcity and exclusivity in conversations: when you master the art of not always being available, making them feel special, and creating urgency, you shift the dynamic of communication. Instead of waiting for a reply, you create an environment where they want to reach out to you as quickly as possible. This doesn't mean playing games or being manipulative. It's about making conversations more engaging, meaningful, and exciting. Because when someone sees your messages as valuable, they won't just reply instantly. They'll anticipate the next one. If you want someone to call or text you instantly, you need to make a lasting impression, one that keeps you on their mind even when you're not around. The key is to create an experience so unique, engaging, and emotionally powerful that they can't help but think of you. When you're unforgettable, your presence lingers in their thoughts, making them eager to reach out, whether it's to hear your voice, continue a fun conversation, or simply stay connected. Being unforgettable isn't about being perfect. It's about being distinct. It's about standing out in a way that makes the other person feel like their connection with you is different from anyone else. Whether through your personality, the way you communicate, or the emotions you evoke, you need to create a presence that is impossible to ignore. Why being unforgettable makes people reach out first. People don't always remember what you say, but they remember how you made them feel. If someone associates you with excitement, fun, deep conversations, or even just a comforting presence, they will crave that feeling again. And when they crave that feeling, they will instinctively reach out to you. On the flip side, if your conversations are predictable, surface level, or too similar to everyone else's, they might enjoy talking to you, but they won't feel compelled to do so immediately. The goal is to make your interactions so engaging that you leave a lasting impact. Ways to make yourself unforgettable in conversations. 1. Create a unique communication style. The way you text, talk, and interact should feel different from what they experience with others. You want them to recognize your messages instantly, not just by your name, but by your style. Use humor that's uniquely yours. Whether it's witty one-liners, playful sarcasm, or inside jokes, develop a sense of humor that stands out. Personalized emojis or phrases. If you use certain emojis or signature catchphrases regularly, they'll associate them with you. Example: instead of saying, "Hey, what's up?" say, "All right, tell me something exciting that happened today." Instead of a plain good night, try sweet dreams. Don't let the alien abduction get you tonight. This kind of distinctiveness makes even the simplest interactions memorable. 2. Be someone they can confide in. People remember those who make them feel understood. If you can be the person they open up to about things they don't tell everyone else, your bond will be irreplaceable. Listen deeply. Instead of just responding, show they truly hear them. Say things like, "I remember you mentioned that your boss was giving you a hard time last week. Did things get any better?" Offer thoughtful insights. Don't just say, "That sucks." Instead, say something like, "That sounds really frustrating. If I were in your shoes, I'd feel the same way. Do you want to vent, or do you want advice?" When you make someone feel safe to express their true thoughts, they'll want to reach out to you whenever something important happens in their life. 3. Make every conversation an experience. People don't remember boring conversations. They remember ones that made them laugh, think, or feel something deep. To make sure your texts stand out, be unpredictable. Instead of always asking, how's your day? Shake things up with, if today had a theme song, what would it be? If your life was a reality show, what's the title of today's episode? Tell vivid stories. Instead of just saying, I went to a cool cafe, I found this hidden cafe today, and it smelled like cinnamon and fresh coffee. The owner told me this wild story about how they started the place. Remind me to tell you about it later. These little details make conversations more engaging and harder to forget. 4. Attach yourself to strong emotions. People remember emotions more than they remember facts. If you consistently create positive, deep, or even thrilling emotional moments, they'll associate those feelings with you. Make them laugh. If you make someone genuinely laugh, they'll want more of that energy in their life. Send memes, funny voice notes, or say something playfully unexpected. Challenge them intellectually. Ask thought-provoking questions like, if you could relive any one day of your life, which one would you pick? Create excitement. Give them something to look forward to and do. I have a story for you, but I need to tell you in person. It's too good for text. The more emotions they experience when talking to you, the more memorable you become. 5. Build inside jokes and shared memories. Inside jokes are one of the strongest ways to form a strong connection that no one else shares. When you create moments that are unique to just the two of you, your conversations feel special. Reference past conversations. If they once said they love pineapple pizza, later text them, just saw someone put ketchup on pineapple pizza. Thought of you instantly. Turn small moments into jokes. If they always misplace their keys, tease them about it. Did you lose your keys again today, or are we making progress? These little connections make your interactions feel personal and strengthen their attachment to you. 6. Keep a bit of mystery. One way to be unforgettable is to leave them wanting more. Instead of revealing everything all at once, sprinkle in a little intrigue. Instead of fully explaining something right away, say, remind me to tell you the funniest thing later. I just found out something crazy, but I need to see your reaction in person. Don't overshare immediately. Keep them curious and engaged so they want to keep talking to you. Mystery keeps conversations exciting and makes them look forward to your next message. 7. Make them feel like the most important person in the moment. If you want to be unforgettable, make the other person feel important when they're talking to you. This means giving them your full attention. No half-hearted responses or distracted replies. Remembering the small details. If they mention an upcoming event, check in afterward. Hey, how did your presentation go? I know you were nervous about it. Using their name in texts. People love hearing or seeing their own name. Makes messages feel more personal. Alex, you won't believe what just happened. When you treat someone like they truly matter, they will never forget how you made them feel. Why unforgettable? People get instant replies when you are truly memorable. You don't have to chase responses. People will want to text or call you first. They will feel drawn to your energy, eager to be part of your world and excited about every conversation. Being unforgettable isn't about trying too hard or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about making meaningful connections, creating emotional experiences, and making every interaction feel special. When you do that, you won't just be someone they text back. You'll be someone they can't wait to talk to you at the end of the day. Making someone call or text you instantly isn't about tricks or manipulation. It's about creating a connection so strong, so engaging, and so memorable that they naturally want to reach out. When you make conversations exciting, when you leave a lasting impression, and when you make them feel valued, they won't just respond quickly. They'll start anticipating the next time they get to talk to you. So instead of worrying about whether they'll text back, focus on being the kind of person they don't want to leave on red. Because when someone truly enjoys talking to you, you won't have to chase their attention. They'll give it to you willingly.